55, Trev's Hockey Show. I'm the Trev. You know that. Tuning in if you're watching. It's too sweet. Anyway, first and foremost, forgive the bad angle. Kind of hard to do anything when you got a big bouquet of flowers sitting right where you normally have your camera. But anyway, today's video by request. It's another one of those my favorite players from the team video. As always, if you want me to do your team, just put it in the comments below. I'll try my best. You can throw one team, you can throw two teams, you can throw 6 teams for all I care. I will pick one and keep the rest under consideration, or at least as a work, till I get to it. As is, I've got 2 more teams after this one that are still requested, but I will get to them eventually. Today we're talking Colorado Avalanche. So, let's get started. So the Avalanche have been in Colorado since 1995 after relocating from Quebec. And right out of the gate, success came their way. I mean, a lot of it was attributed to getting a goalie named Patrick Waugh. That never hurts. But if you compare success rates, Quebec, Colorado, it's night and day. I mean, sure, late 80s, early 90s weren't nice to Quebec, but the early 80s were. Pretty much the last couple of years were okay to them, but as soon as they went to Colorado, right out the gate, just consistently a contending playoff team, if not a contending Stanley Cup team. And that was very evident in their first season in Colorado. And it doesn't hurt when you have a nice blood rivalry with Detroit to help that. And that was probably the most enjoyable part of watching the Avalanche in the 90s, the 2000s, or up to say about 2002, 2004, when the rivalry kind of fizzled out. But even still, you know, they were still successful in their own right. I mean, sure, they had a couple bumpy seasons up to this point, but they've recovered nicely. So, having said all that, let's talk about my favorites from the Avalanche. Before I start, though, I do have to say, like all videos like this, I'm only doing my top 6, 1 goalie, 2 defensemen, 3 forwards. And for this, as well as any other team that I do in the future that has been a relocated team, I'm only doing of the current team. So I'm only counting Avalanche. I'm not counting Nordiques. Nordiques are a completely different team, so we won't worry about that for now, if at all. Starting in net. And most people would not have the same answer I have. Most people, I'm sure, have a no-brainer in Patrick Waugh. Mine is not Patrick Waugh. Mine's Varley. And I'm completely biased in that pick. Varley's my boy. He's my twin brother from a Russian mother we're only separated by 8 years and 5 mil. That's beside the point. After his 14-15 season where he should have won the Vezina, and I get why he didn't, but he should have. I mean, his play wasn't nearly as consistent as that, but that notwithstanding, still my pick for favorite goalie for the Avalanche. Moving on to defense. Yui Krupp. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Can you name other defensemen? I know I can name one more, and I will after this, but let's not take into consideration the fact that he's German. Let's take into consideration that Game 4, Stanley Cup Final, 1996, triple overtime, scored the winner. Weren't for Yui Krupp, I guarantee the banner would have came through someone else, but having Krupp as that cup clinching goal, that's always a great thing too. Now for my other defenseman, and here's the consensus, I'm sure with a lot of people, Ray Bourque. Granted, he only spent a year and a half there. But his year and a half there only elevated Colorado to another Stanley Cup. And if it weren't for his leadership, it weren't for his motivation and his drive to get his name on the cup, who knows if Colorado would have gone as far as they did in 01. And, you know, who could forget Operation 16W? If you're not sure what that is, look it up. But it's not so much because of how he played his game or who he played his game with. My lasting image of Bourque is him getting the cup for the first and last time, retiring as a champ, writing his own book as he should have. Moving on to the forwards. And this is the only one that's currently on the team in a playing role. We'll get to that. Nathan MacKinnon. The guy's huge. The guy's solid. The guy can give you all the points he can give you. And just watch the guy shoot the puck. He makes it go ting, and you don't even know it's in until the goal horn goes off. The guy is a beauty to watch on TV, in person. Just a phenomenal player, and he's only getting started. Like, he hasn't even hit his prime yet. I guarantee you that. So hopefully we have many good more seasons out of MacKinnon. Maybe another cup in Colorado with MacKinnon. That's the goal, I'm sure. And who knows? It could happen. With the core he's got around him right now, there's no reason why it couldn't. But for now, MacKinnon is my first forward on this team. Next forward is FOPA, Peter Forsberg. Now, the guy had superstar written all over him, even when he was in Quebec. I mean, the Calder Trophy was no fluke. His Hart Trophy was no fluke. The fact that he was instrumental in a lot of Colorado's offensive success, and the fact that he could score the goals or set up the play. Whatever you needed him to do is whatever he did. And it's a shame injuries cut his career short. It's a shame he went to other teams before coming back twice. Because I can only imagine what a healthy Forsberg for a good chunk of his career would have done in Colorado. But the fact that they got 2 cups with him, a Hart Trophy, countless other playoff success, regular season success, only shows how instrumental the guy was to the team. Rounding out my favorite Avalanche players is, of course, the captain, Joe Sakic. Why not? The guy was the Avalanche. The guy still is the Avalanche. He's their general manager right now. But if it weren't for his style of play, if it weren't for his selfless playmaking, if it weren't for the fact that he could play a 200-foot game, who knows where they would have been? I mean, is it safe to say that if he would have stuck as a Washington draft pick when Quebec drafted him, it would have been a different story in Washington? Who knows? But it's a good thing he played on Colorado. I mean, they only benefited from him being there, from him maturing into the kind of player he was. Really, can you name me a better two-way forward who is guaranteeing you 60, 70, 80 points a year, sometimes a couple hundreds? They're almost nothing without Sakic. So that was my favorite Avalanche players of all time. And this was episode 55 of Trev's Hockey Show. I want to thank you for tuning in. Your viewership always means so much to me. It always has, always will. I do appreciate when you guys do tune in. I love you for it. I really do. Again, if you want me to cover your team, just put it in the comments below. I'll try my best. As is with this particular brand, I've got 2 more. One's in Edmonton, one's in Chicago. It's just a matter of what order I get to them, but I will get to them. So for everybody who has made the requests, they're coming. They're coming. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you want to, help me hit that 50 sub by hitting that red button over there. You stay up to date with all the content I'm putting out. If you want, you can find Trev's Trade Page on Facebook at Trev's Trade Page. You can find the parent channel on Facebook at Trev's TV. And you can find me on Instagram at RockstarTrevTV. Moving forward, there's always more hockey content. I might dip back into hockey history. It's been a while since I've done a hockey history video. And I've got a couple ideas in mind as to what I want to go with that. I know I have to get back to retired numbers. That script's almost done. I know I've been saying that, and I've been saying that, and I've only been putting it off, but that script's almost done. So hopefully by the weekend, maybe early next week, you'll see that video. But either way, in the meantime, and in between time, be on the lookout for more videos from the Trev. Later.